So that's a schedule. So Nisha, you could start.
Swami, good morning. This is a hymn by Swamiji. It is a soul talking to the Supreme Lord. The soul is saying, "You are the lamp, I am a moth. In your flame, I have burnt my mind to ashes. I have met the perfect adept in you, Radha Swami, master of the soul. You have transformed this helpless insect, as does a bhingri, a beetle. You are the sandalwood tree, I am a snake. Taking shelter in you has soothed my mind. You are the ocean, I am the wave. From you I arose, and in you I finally merged. You are the sun, and I'm a ray of light. From you I emerged, and to you I have returned. You are the pearl, and I'm the string. Never am I really separate from you. Shower your grace on me now, Radha Swami Lord. You are in every heart, my omniscient Lord. Okay, now the Shabad. तुम दीपक मैं भई हूँ पतंगा भस्म किया मन तुमरे संगा भस्म किया मन तुमरे संगा तुम दीपक मैं भई हूँ पतंगा भस्म किया मन तुमरे संगा भस्म किया मन तुमरे संगा तुम भृंगी मैं कीट अधीना मिल गए राधा स्वामी अति परवीना मिल गए राधा स्वामी अति परवीना तुम चंदन मैं भी हूँ भुवंगन शीतल भई लग तुमरे चरणन तुम समुद्र मैं लहर तुम्हारी तुमसे उठ फिर तुम ही समाई तुमसे उठ फिर तुम ही समाई तुम दीपक मैं भई हूँ पतंगा भस्म किया मन तुमरे संगा भस्म किया मन तुमरे संगा तुम सूरज मैं किरनी आई तुमसे निकसी तुम ही समाई तुमसे निकसी तुम ही समाई तुम मोती मैं भी भई धागा संग तुम्हारा कभी न त्यागा संग तुम्हारा कभी न त्यागा अब तो कृपा करो राधा स्वामी तुम हो घट घट अंतर जामी अब तो कृपा करो राधा स्वामी तुम हो घट घट अंतर जामी तुम दीपक मैं भई हूँ पतंगा, भस्म किया मन तुमरे संगा, भस्म किया मन तुमरे संगा, भस्म किया मन तुमरे संगा. Thank you, Radha Swami.
Radha Swami, thank you so much. That was so godly, so beautiful. And I hope you will always sing for us. Cool. Okay, my dear Holy Family, welcome to another glorious day in the fortress of our perfect Master, under His protection, under His love, under His grace, in this beautiful fortress that we all come for shelter and for protection, the fortress of Ishwar Puri Ji, our perfect Master, who fills our cup on daily basis with His grace, with His nectar, and with all His love and all His protection. Protection, protection, protection is in the fortress of the perfect Master. So in the olden times in ancient India, they used kings were very, very wise, and they knew the secrets of life, and they used to send their children to the ashram. And the children, whether they are the poor children used to go to the same ashram, and the king children that used to go to the same ashram, and there was no difference that the children of kings will adjust. The human life is a life of an adjustment, that you can adjust to any kind of situation very fast if you live a simple life. So masters and saints since time began, they taught that live a life of simplicity. Adjust whatever your karma is, adjust, and always try to be more and more and more simple. And to be simple is to live life more happily, because you don't have to work so hard, because you are simple. When you start to live in the worldly life, and you want to buy this and buy that and buy this and buy that, you're going to have to work hours and hours and hours to buy all these things. But if you are satisfied with very little, and the basic necessity, you just give your body the basic necessities, then you live much more happier, because you don't have to work hard, and you can concentrate on the life of the soul. You can put more time in God and in the kingdom of God, rather than work in the worldly way. And you don't have to suffer the ups and downs of loss and profit, and profit and loss, all these things. So simple living and high thinking is the motto of life of all the saints since time began. They taught us to be simple, and be simple. And to be simple is really to be wise if you are using your time towards God, towards the kingdom of God. So yes, in the olden times, the kings used to send their children to the ashrams, and even Lord Rama, his dad was a king, and he was sent to the ashram and to live with the poor children, and he adjusted. And in the ashram, usually people do menial work, like take care of the cows and clean and plant and do garden work and all kinds of things. And the kings at that time, coming from the wealthy palace, also adjusted to the life of simplicity. So everybody can adjust, because it's the life of adjustment. I remember when I used to go see Sant Thakur Singh, my holy master, in the ashram in Oregon. And they used to kick us out of the dorms whenever he comes, because the dorms are reserved for the handicapped people, the older people, people who need to be in the dorms. So all of us young ones were sent into the tents. And I remember one time I stayed 2 months in a tent, 2 months in the tent. And it was a marvelous life. It was a gorgeous life, because it was in nature. And nature is neutral. It doesn't have the negativity of the world. And then you can really nourish yourself in the sunlight, in the there was a river there. So everything was so natural. And I felt like I got adjusted really, really fast. So we can adjust to any situation if we put our heart to it. And to live in nature is like really, really beautiful and healthy for our mind, for our soul, for our body. So, and at that time, people used to give donation of food. That was in the in the ancient India, and the people used to give donation of food to the people who were in the ashram. And everything has to be paid for. But when you are in the ashram and meditating, you gain the wealth of God. You gain the currency of God that can pay for that food with maybe 10 minutes of meditation or 15 minutes of meditation. It will pay for that food, because Master gives you the currency of God, of the kingdom of God. And if you people of this world, if they work all their life, they cannot even buy one particle of the kingdom of God, because it is such a high value, as just like one coin of gold can buy like heaps of iron. The same thing, one moment of meditation on the holy light and sound is so priceless treasure that it can pay for anything of this world. That's why, like, we sit in meditation every day, and with that power, with that priceless jewels, we pay off our karma. We clean our mind, body, and soul from all the rubbish that we collect from this negative world. So yes, they used to go live in the ashram, and I hope we will finish that dera, and they will have dormitories and people where we can do seva, and the more in the golden age, I hope more and more will sprout up, and and people will send their children, and that's how, like before, they used to send their children because they wanted them to become godmen or godwomen, and then come and live in the world as godmen and godwomen, and they live with no suffering, with no fear, with all the arrangements of God, with all the arrangements of the kingdom of God at hand with them in this life. So it was my master Santakar Singh started this beautiful project where he had like thousands of meditation children in the ashram, and they were all meditating day and night. It was the most beautiful thing. But after he left the body, things changed, and you know what happens after the master leaves the body. But those children, I could tell, one of them, I heard they were asking him, you are in front of Santakar Singh when Santakar had the Bandara. Why don't you open your eyes? You have to. They were rebuking him. Open your eyes. And he said, no, I see Master much more clearly with my eyes closed. I see him in his full glory with my eyes closed. And Master told them, let him be. Don't rebuke him. Listen to him rather. Listen to his advice. Don't rebuke this child because he has his eyes closed, but learn from him. So this type of children were coming up in the ashram, godmen and godwomen, and I wish that will happen in the golden age, where we'll see more ashrams and more people living simply and working less and devoting time here at the doorway of the kingdom of God, at the doorway of the saints, and find a perfect master who will pour glory on them. I want to tell you this story about this. Once upon a time in ancient India, there was a king, and his name was Gopi Chand. And Gopi Chand, his mom was a real mother. Why? She was like one of the best moms ever, because she knew the truth. She knew the secret of life, and she wanted her child, her child king, at some point to go and experience the life of glory. She knew that this life is just a passing life, and the life of the body will die one time. And so this king, at some point, he was fed up of the life of worldly power and worldly pleasure. And he remembered his mom always telling him that you have to find a perfect master, a true one, not a fake one, a true one who really can teach you, a true one who has found God, who has found the kingdom of God. There's always one on earth. And at that time there was one close there, and he went to that Mahatma. He went to that master. And the master told him, okay, my dear king, you know, it is very hard for a king to become humble, so and to leave off vanity. So I want you to do one thing for me. I want you to put on the robe of a sadhu, and I want you to take a begging bowl and go back to your kingdom and start begging for alms. So he went to his kingdom, and everybody was giving him a lot. They said, "Oh, our monarch, our king is now a sadhu begging," and they were giving him. They were giving him, and he went to his wife, his queen, and his queen took off all her jewelry and gave him. And then he was taking all this jewelry and money and sending it to the poor disciples who were meditating, his fellow initiates, his fellow brothers and sisters who were meditating in the ashram and stuff like that. And then he went to his mom, to the palace of his mom, his wise mom. And when he went to the palace to beg, his mom looked at him and she said, "Oh, Sadhu, I can give you whatever I want as alms, and I'm not giving you money or treasure or anything like that. I'm giving you words of advice." And he's like, "Okay, mom, what is your alms as words of advice? Tell me your words of advice." And she said three things. I want you to live in a fortress. I want you to sleep on the best, lushest beds. And I want you to eat the best kingly food, the best, lushest kingly food. Then he looked at her and he's like, "Mom, are you, if someone else said that, I would think that they went out of their mind. Why are you telling me this? And I know you are a wise lady." And then she looked at him and she said, "Oh, Sadhu, you did not understand your mom. Okay, let me explain to you. I meant," because he told her, "You know, in the forest, there is no forts. I am living as a sadhu in the forest. There is no fortress there." And after she told him, "You didn't understand my words," and she was telling him that always live in the fortress of your master, under his protection, day and night. You are a young, handsome man in your 20s, and there are so many women who want to come and listen to your discourses. And so I want you to always live in the fortress and under the protection of your guru, and never step out of the borders of his commandments. Live in his commandments, a pure life. Never step out of the commandments of your master." And then she told him more. She told him, "And in this fortress, you should have a tower. And this tower should have 4 walls." And then he asked her, "Mom, what are those towers? What is that?" She said, "You have to have one of the walls of this tower is silence. You have to live as silence is golden. Silence is golden, and silence is golden. And you have to live as much as possible in silence, and always concentrate on your beloved master, on your beloved guru. Should be one of your walls, because so much energy is being dissipated when we start talking and chatting and chatting and chatting." So she told him, use this energy to meditate rather than waste it on chatting, and only talk if you have to. If you have to, only talk. If you're doing seva and you have to talk, then just say what's necessary, and then that's it. You don't have to go more than that, because the tongue is a two-edged sword, and it has to be under your control, under your control, because it's a two-edged sword. So one of the walls is silence. The other wall that you have to build is forgiveness, because you are not the manager of this world. The master is. Each moment is in full control of him. And if anybody does you bad for some reason, it's due to your karma. You have to forgive him. So this should be another wall of your fortress. And then there is another wall that you should put, and that is truthfulness and and uh, less sleeping, and less eating. These are the four words of your fortress. And then he asked her, Mom, but I didn't understand. You said that I should sleep on luscious beds and eat luscious foods. And how can I do that if you're telling me to eat less? And then she said, Oh, Sadhu, you did not understand my words again. Let me explain to you. You should eat less and sleep less, because the human being builds his spiritual self and becomes a godly being by sleeping less and using that time for meditation. So sleep less, and eating, you should only eat to live and not live to eat. And you should eat only when you are very, very, very hungry. That's and but he said, but how? I don't understand. You said eating luscious and kingly food. She said, because when you are hungry and you eat, then anything you eat will become so delicious, so delicious, so delicious. And that hunger is the sauce that changes everything to be so delicious. I like that. Hunger is the sauce that changes everything to be so delicious. And then when you sit up for meditation most of the night and build your soul to become God, then when you are tired and you need to sleep, even if you sleep at a bed of rocks, then your sleep will be so comfortable. Your sleep will be so comfortable when you sleep on a bed of rocks, when you have sat up all night. So these are this is the fort that you should live in, and with all these walls. And I love that story, because that story is just full of wisdom, full of inner wisdom of the saints, that we should eat less, because when we eat too much, then we sleep too much. When we eat too much, we become too lazy. We become too lazy and dull, and then we want to sleep directly. And so if we eat less, then we can sit up more at night, and we don't need to sleep as much. Saints and masters, just like they say, like 3 hours is good enough for sleeping. 3 to 4 hours. 4 hours is good. The rest of the night, you sit at God's door as a beggar, and He will open. He will open the door. For those who sit up most of the night, Baba Sawan Singh comes with the basket of blessings, every night, and visits them and gives them these blessings. So there is something beautiful that is given for people who sit up all night. If you sit up all night at God's door, at some point He will open the door and throw a cookie at you. So lovers of God, those who are so much in love with God, they try their best to sit up and to sit up most of the night. Now, eating less, I also have to learn, because my belly is getting bigger with this lockdown. So I have to learn. I have to learn from these words of Satsang myself, to eat less and meditate more, of course. So this is my introduction to you today, and now